Morning, everyone. Business Guru here. Gotta watch my hair. It's all standing up. So I'm about to start the painting this morning and finishing the mowing, and I'm going to sort of alternate the tasks in between drying times for the paint. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of what it looks like now. I spent all day after I got back from my trips scraping the old paint. And that took me probably 5 to 6 hours to do a very small area, which I'll show you, which is just the foyer entrance. Looking at the whole house, I'm thinking if I split each side of the house in half, and I can do one half on a weekend, then I'm probably looking at 7 to 8 weeks to complete the whole house. So it's July now, so probably September before I have this complete, if I work on the weekends. And I allow for a couple of weekends to go away when I'm not here. So I'm just going to show you really quick a few of the things that I bought before I show you what I've done so far. And then I'm going to show, we're going to put the first coat of wood filler on that corner. So best $200 I ever spent was on this ladder. So I wasn't aware that this was even possible, but it's possible to get a ladder that you can set up on a stairwell where you've got both sides of the ladder are two different sizes. So here, what this is, I always knew there were folding ladders and I wanted one that folded because I don't want to be hauling around, a 20-foot or a 30-foot ladder. It's just, they're very, very hard to carry and, very dangerous to use. So this one has a dual, so it's got two sides and it's got dual locking mechanisms here and here. So in order to extend one side, you simply unlock it and you move it down to where you've got another hole like this, and you just lock it back in place. And then the fulcrum at the top there, you push those knobs in, which releases the catches that are up here. And then you can widen or collapse the ladder. And it will click back in place when it is, safe. So your ladder, when you've set it up, is locked into position so it can't move. Okay, then so what I'm going to be doing this morning is applying the primer, which I've chosen Kills 3, which I, again, didn't know existed. We're using latex-based paint. And Kills was always a oil-based product, but I guess they've decided to make a primer that's actually latex-based. So I'm going to use that, and I'll be applying it fairly liberally, even though the guy at the paint store told me to spot prime. I am probably going to prime more than just spots. And any surface at all that I think might peel if I don't do so. So the third product that I got, which you'll see me applying, is this Wood Pro wood filler. Now, I had bought this product is supposed to go on pink, and it's supposed to dry natural wood color. And if you look at the packaging, you'll see that there's a tab here on the side that you just detach to open the container. So the one that I bought on Thursday did not have this tab. And when I opened it up, it was all this color. So what had happened, and I noticed when I opened the pack that this putty knife had this discoloration on it. So someone had bought it, used a very small amount of it, and taken it back to the store in its original packaging. And the store just didn't seem to notice that was the case. And, put it back on the shelf. And I guess with that product, even if you close it, it will eventually dry out, and that's what happened. So I bought some more of that. Now the scraping, so you can see, if you look, I was able to use the ladder to scrape all the paint that up top there, and I scraped the whole foyer all the way down, all the little window wood there. A couple of the wooden pieces came out, so I'm going to have to go to a hobby shop or something and find a small little piece of wood to put in there. I mean, it's too small for a molding, so I'll have to go source that. I'm not sure where I'm going to find it, but so I did a very thorough job on scraping. You can see I've also managed to find a couple more areas of rot on that corner there, which I took out. I'll try to use wood filler to get to that, but again, I may have to find some wood pieces to put on there. Now, as far as the scraping goes, the reason it took a long time is that most of the time when people scrape paint, they don't do a thorough enough job. And that's the reason why paint keeps peeling. When you're scraping, you have to scrape everything off that can come off with a scraper. So a lot of times you'll see an area, like if you look here, you know, the actual area that was peeling was here. But you can see there's a larger area here where the paint has come off all the way up and it's traveled. And there's actually quite a few areas like up there, you know, where there's that huge expanse of bare spot. That was a very small area of actual bubbling paint. Same here on this side here where you could see this large area here. That was all just one small spot of paint, but it was able to come off underneath to quite an extent. And so the reason you have to do that is because when paint is properly bound to wood, it won't come off at all. Even if you scrape it hard, it will just stay where it is. If it's able to come off at all, what that means is that it's no longer bonded to the wood. And so if you don't scrape it when you're doing your scraping and you paint over it, in the next 2 or 3 years, when that piece finally fails or the moisture finally gets underneath it and causes it to bubble, well then you're going to get peeling paint all over again, and it's going to be the spots you didn't scrape. So I understand. I mean, it's a tedious job. Most people don't enjoy it, and that's why they tend to shortcut it, but it is absolutely critical to getting a good paint job. And I'm hopeful I did enough there. I mean, I'm not even sure I did, but I did as much as I possibly could. So now I'm opening up the wood filler, and I'm going to take some out, and we're going to get some onto this to this area. Now, we're going to apply only a small amount on this first layer. So the secret here is I just want to apply enough filler to start a base layer so that it can dry. I'm not interested in trying to perfect it. I'm just going to put enough on to get the process started. And then as that dries, I can apply more later today. I'm not doing this side of the house painting wise probably until next week anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'll see if I can get it filled up enough today to prime it so that when the inspector comes it's not obvious. that would be good. But even if it is, even if it's not finished, you know, the inspector will be able to see that I fixed the problem, and that you know, I'm just attending to the cosmetics of it. So that's good. That's just a little bit of a base coat. So we'll put the lid back on that, and we'll get to it. So thank you for watching, and hang in there.